Let's see if I'm getting up here. Hello. Okay. I know we're going down if we're not down already. And so I wanted to show you guys some screenshots while we're down, because we're going to be down till, they seem to say 2 o'clock. I had 2 o'clock Eastern, so like 4 hours. I had no intention of streaming. I was going to stream tomorrow, but as streaming goes, I may be lucky because I have tons and tons and tons and tons of screenshots, so I can show you guys stuff that's ESO related while we're down. So I want to thank Twisted Red Queen and Wanderer 1919 for the follows. And if you're not interested in building, you may want to just tune out, because this is going to be crazy. I'm going to be doing just building screenshots. A lot of these are recent because I've been doing some more exploring, trying to get more screenshots for you guys and more houses to explore together. So I threw on my clothes, I threw on my makeup, I tried really fast, so I'm not as put together as I try to be. My jewelry, I couldn't get it on because my arthritis, so please forgive me for looking a little disheveled this morning. I'm doing my best. Okay, so this first picture is of Tierna's Cyrodiilic jungle house, and she obviously put a Christmas tree in here, or a new life tree. And what's really cool about this is that this is EHT almost completely. She made the balls out of EHT, and look how shimmery they are. I love the what's the word? Not the consistency, but the texture of them is really cool. And I believe these candles are just the white candles in EHT, and she turned them purple. And of course she put up wallpaper, which is just, you know, you can stick a rug on the wall and it looks like wallpaper. So that's really cool. I was a real fan of Tierna's work. This is a gender fox, and they're a friend of mine. And I went to go see their Grand Sigic, and this must have been before the Grand Sigic was used for a different contest, or maybe it's after. But this is, you know, this is their Grand Sigic. And they did a beautiful job of showing EHT, kind of the leaves dropping are all EHT, and I'm a big fan of the dropping leaves. And then there's also colorful stuff in the background, which is also EHT. The trees can use some work in EHT, and as I said, I'm talking to Cardi about it, but dude's busy. You know, he's got a life. Anyway, also the dirt is EHT. So there you go. It's all EHT. Griffin, if you're watching, you're going to be bored out of your gourd. You might as well quit. All right. Not that I need you to quit. I'm just saying. So this is one of the houses I've shown you before, so I'll skip this. Oh, PBO's lady. PBO's lady actually did an entire, you know what? I'm going to just stick this in other chats. That way, other people know that I'm streaming and have somewhere to go and stuff to look at. Here we go. Oi, I'm now live. BMW. You know, BMW for all of the... Actually, they're not the worst at that. There's some people who are really bad about using everybody or ats. Really annoying. Sorry that I'm doing this while maybe one person is watching, but I really wanted to show it off and maybe get some additional watchers who don't normally watch, because yes and no, because I want to make sure that people have something to do, something to watch while they're doing this. Okay, so this is PBO's lady, and they did the entire Batcave, the original one from the comics. And the whole thing is impressive. Like, I didn't know what it was, but somebody was actually standing behind me the whole time in my actual house while I was looking at it, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's the Batcave! It's got this, it's got that. Holy crap! It's totally the Batcave." I'm gonna try to put this on while you're watching. I don't think I will succeed because I don't have the hand ability, but you know, no one's really watching, so what do I care? I know some of you watch later. That's fine. So yeah, I don't think this is gonna be possible. I'll put it on later if I get somebody in here to help me with it. But so this looks, if you go there, it's their erstwhile. I suggest you go there, and it looks really good. And what they did here, obviously, is they built the Batmobile. Now, I wouldn't have been able to tell at all what this was, you know. But then, I guess until I saw the Batmobile, and at that point I was like, duh, you know, obviously this is that. But until that point, I had no clue. I'm so out of the comic book world and the comics that I didn't recognize it. But they apparently have a giant penny, and they have a T-Rex, and they have all the other weird things. There's like a card with the Joker on it and everything. They did a really good job. And I like here, I think that the Batmobile is actually on a rotating thing in the comic book. So they kind of rebuilt that too. And that's all PBO's lady. This is Cult 293, who I think this was a random house I visited because I don't recognize the name at all. But this is the Amaya Lodge, as usual. I love the Amaya. But this is one of the best ways I've ever seen anybody really decorate the Amaya. Now, I've seen plenty of people do long tables with a lot of light, which is nice. But look at what they did. They took all of these handfast trees from the Bosmer achievement and stuck them all around the wall. They carried the green color through with the painting, with the plants over here, with the ivy, and I think it really brings the Amaya room. This Amaya room is not very exciting, so it brings it to life. I really think it was an excellent choice, and they did a really good job. I like it. Oh, I was just trying to take a screenshot of a dragon because I was trying to enter a screenshot contest for something that was ancient, and dragons are obviously ancient, so I was trying to go with that. So these are just the recent ones. These don't have any theme, but I will definitely go into my folders after that and show you themed stuff. This is just a really pretty Night Owlish did in their Earth Tear. They built over the water where there isn't anything. They built a nice little shrine to Debella. And, I got it right this time. So this isn't normally here, and it's by building this alinor extension, it makes it look like they have a pool, which they don't normally. So it's a great way to use this extra space over the water, and if that's something that you're into, then that's something you can do. I mean, I didn't buy Earth Tear. I may one day, but at this point, no, I haven't. Okay, so that's that one. Then I have, oh, this was great. This is Danielder 6. I should have known. Danielder, she's great. She has fabulous builds, and she uses EHT in ways that I've never thought of. This is her Forsaken, and we have one of those new gates, the elsweyr gates, is sunken into the ground. Hey, Stabby. Is NA server down as well? Yeah, Ixie, they took both of them down because I think what it is you guys get on EU, you guys get the problems that we should be getting, but you have more stress on your server, so because you have more people. So I think that you see the problems we have soon first. Hey, Ambrell, nice to see you. So yeah, they took them both down. They're saying the same estimate, so 4 hours for both of us. So I figure I'm one of the few people who probably has enough screenshots to keep people busy. They're all housing screenshots, but you know, something. It's something to look at that's ESO related, so you know, enjoy. So anyway, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask, and they don't necessarily have to be about building. You can ask me anything you want. I did not know you were on EU, Ixie. I was sending out presents the other day, and like I don't have any money on EU, so I can't really send you a present on EU. But consider it as if I did. Because I was going to send you a small little token of, you know, one of those work poop buckets that swing. I don't even know if you have a house, but anyway, back to the boring. This is Danielder's. They're Forsaken, and they built a fireplace. And what this is handmade. This isn't normally here. So I know that this is an altar, an elsweyr altar up top. I don't know what these are on the side. Aw, I tried. And then this is, these look like those alinor bookcases turned. Oh my god, this is so complex. Look at this thing. I don't know what's down here. That looks like marble to me. So it's probably the marble, yeah, you can see Earth Tear. There you go. This is a Debella statue that they stuck at the back of the Earth Tear and built a whole shrine around it because this isn't normally there. And I think they did a really good job on it. Something I didn't notice the first time I showed you is look at that, the elevated portions. I'm not even sure how they did that. That looks like that's an additional item that they just put through to make it look elevated. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, it is nice. Now, I'm still trying to figure out what all these pieces are. Obviously, those are clockwork pieces from the vendor. I think this is like an elsweyr column. These are the bottom. These are those elsweyr candles. And then they put like a fire inside. And then this is EHT along here. These marble, black gold. I think it's called black, gold, and white EHT marble. And then you just put that over it. So yeah, it's a mixture of mostly real items put together in a really weird cobbled way, unexpectedly. And then it has some EHT to touch it up. This is Danielder's as well. This is actually really simple. What they did here also was, this is actually an EHT. It's a little pocket watch in EHT. But what they did is they blew it up. So they're using it as a wall clock. But it works. So that's a cool thing to do. Oh, these are just some bugs. I don't know about if this has been happening to you, but Riverhold has been disappearing for me. So I just have people like sitting here in the nothing. It just cracks me up. Look at that lady. Just, I mean, that's really good for you if you can manage it, but I can't manage it. Just stuff hanging in the nothing. These things just crack me up. I probably took too many pictures of it, but... Oh, okay. This is Merowich. I believe this is on EU. Not 100% sure. Yes, it's EU because I'm using my Red Guard. This is Grand Sigic. And what they did is they redid this as a very imperial interior, using these columns like that, using the red. I guess, you know, it could be, oh, forgive me, is this Daggerfall is red? I'm one of them. Dragon Pact, whatever. I don't know the different factions. You guys would because you're PvPers. But what they did is they made that the focus. And then the floor is also EHT. This is another pattern you can have in EHT. It's marble as well. All of these are put in by Chryseia, who is amazing. She submitted so many of these different patterns, and I really like it. This one, I should not have blanked out who it was, but I know that J Heart toured this. This was one of the monsters and has little baby monster eggs, using those Lux Vendor breakable eggs, and then they stuck Vardenfell things in it. So I thought that was adorable. This is Swankery's. Swankery did Howl's Flying Castle and built it from scratch. So this is insane, right? Swankery's incredibly talented. I think I showed this on this stream at one point, so this is a little bit of overkill, but I just want to point out all the little details. The details are so cute. All the little, you know, stuff on the side. This is all silly. Okay, also Swankery. Swankery has a good touch with vehicles. She's like really, really talented with vehicles. Mostly. I think that's where she's where she's got the big talent. She's great at everything, but her vehicles are the best. This is just a bed, obviously. I think it's either the Imperial or the Breton bed. They look almost identical. Stuck the wheels on, stuck some couches inside, and a couch on front, and stuck a horse in front of it, and it's a carriage. I mean, check that out. It looks like it's really convincing, and the lights certainly help. So you could do this very easily in one of your homes, and it does fit the kind of Christmas theme. I think it's really a clever idea, and it would be really kind of cheap to do, because some of these items she's using are craftable cheaply, or, you know, bought at the vendor. These are just mails to me. Oh, I wanted to show off how ugly this looks. I don't know if you guys can see this picture. But can you guys see how stupid this looks? They changed the image for backpacks to always be open. So, like, even if it's empty, you can't tell because it's always open. And look at the graphic. It almost looks like they photoshopped a blurry box over it. It's such a poorly done graphic. And I know it's such a little thing to be petty about, but I really hope they fix it, because if this is the way they intended it to look, it's stupid. Oh, thanks, Ixie. They've said it was a bug. It looks terrible. I don't know why they did it. It looks like crap, and it ruins the open closed kind of thing that they had going on that made sense. I took this picture just because look at the size difference between the giant Senshi guy and this teeny tiny little Khajiit. And she's just a normal sized Khajiit. She's a wood or tree Khajiit, I think. So she's a little slender, but she's about the same height as a normal Khajiit. And this guy is just tremendous. So I just thought this was really kind of drastic. I just took a picture of this because I love these guys, these big Sench guys who are more cat-like. He's just a cool looking guy, isn't he? Kind of want to have a pet one or a mount one, another mount one. So this is what happened to me the other day. I killed my dragon and it didn't die. You see that? It's just, it has no HP. It's standing there. My tickets were on that. Couldn't loot it. Stayed in combat. Couldn't do anything. Went off, killed another dragon. My tickets obviously were not on that. And then I had to come back to see if this one, who was still there, it was, but it was still standing like this. And then a couple seconds after I came back, it vanished with my tickets on it. So I contacted ZOS and sent these screenshots. I had a couple of them. And they refunded my 2 tickets that I should have gotten. But I had to give them a lot of extra details, and it took about a day to get my tickets back. But should this happen to you, do submit a ticket, because they will actually do something about it. This is me just being goofy, playing the Esraj over by the dragon that didn't die, because I was waiting. I mean, what else am I going to do? I tried to climb on it to take a picture of me like I'm flying on it, because, I mean, how often can you play with a dragon like this, right? And no, it didn't. You can't climb up the wings. I tried. I bet you I might have been able to jump onto it. Hey, Flimmy. Good morning. But either way, I just think it's really cool. I wish I could have had more time with it. But at the same time, I am so annoyed because I didn't get my tickets and I had to go through a whole big rigmarole to get them. Okay, let me see. We're going through screenshots, Flimmy, because what else do we have to do with the game down for so long? Here's the Sammy here. This is on NA again. This is the Amaya Lake Lodge. Now, Sammy here's entire build here is a training area. But what they did is here is they hung those orcish, I guess those are the flour sacks, face up and face down, so they look like they're a punching bag or a kicking bag or something. And you can actually, you know, it's great. It's a great, yeah, the game's down for 4 more hours, Flemmy. They took it down emergency. EU is having some serious problems, but I think that NA they took it down too because they felt like I'm sure that both have the problems, then just EU saw it first. This is also Sammy here. This is her creation. I think it's a creation of target dummies, also in the training house. And this must be the cutest, most adorable training dummies I've ever seen, with the basket, the bucket. I don't think they're going to sort anything out fast. I hope they do. I hope I'm only on for a short time and then we go, you know, we go up real quick. That's the hope, but I don't have that. I'm not holding my breath, which is why I got on, because I figured you guys need a little entertainment. And all I've got are my screenshots to show you. Sorry for all the personal stuff. Thank you. I showed you my months. Okay, so we're back at the beginning, and now I'm going to show you my, what am I showing you right now? I don't know, nothing. All right, I'm going to show you some more of my collection, because I've got a bajillion. Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, I don't think I showed you this stuff. I'm trying to find one that I know I didn't show you. I think here, we could start here. Dulcima. This is Dulcima's clockwork, and look what they did. I mean, it's just fabulous. And I know I say that a lot, but it's the truth. They put all these coral outcroppings up around, and then put the fish here, which grabs the eye. They have the ship inside, and then a bunch of nautical stuff is also inside. But they put the coral reef outside, and it looks like you're underwater. I mean, that's the goal, is it's you're in an underwater biome, I guess. Looks great. I was feeling like crap yesterday. I was so sick that I ended up just going to sleep forever. So I slept forever. Yeah. Sunken Observatory, yeah. I think it's a really good place. If she worked with the build of the house. Like, you know, sometimes you work against the build of a house. You know, it's like erstwhile. If you try to make erstwhile really light and airy, it's hard to do because you're working against it. Here, she was working with it. She took the windows and the wide open space and made it something that really works with it. And I think it's great. Another picture of it from a different angle, so you can see the details that she put in, you know, with the lighting and ivy. And ivy gives things texture. I think it's a really beautiful. Another image. These are Crown. You have to buy these off the Crown store. However you manage to buy your Crown items. This is Skulllord 1415, and I can guarantee you that this isn't there anymore, because what Skulllord does is he does everything is very avant-garde. He just creates these incredibly modern, almost surreal builds, and then takes them down and reuses everything. So pictures are the only thing we have remaining. Now, this is very simplistic. You know, he put, this is a fountain, and he put a rug in it, and he put the fish on it. But, like, if you're limited in what you have, this isn't a bad way to go. It certainly sends the message, doesn't it? This is Esoterica 6. Made themselves in their Grand Sijic a pool. So, over the ocean, they went out and just used Merkmeyer walls, stuck them together, put alinor walls around them, and here you go. You have a pool, making use of the ocean where the fishies aren't. I really like this, the harp, using the harp as a centerpiece. Makes it look very elegant, classical. Same thing with the columns, and then just the floating flowers over the water. It's just beautiful, you know? And it's not normally there, and it's making use of a part of the property that isn't really used. So I'm a fan. Okay, Cromwell 63. Now, Cromwell, I went over this entire house but I just will point out that I really adored the use of the waterfalls as a river instead of as a waterfall. He put them together to make a river, and I thought that it was beautiful. So if you ever need a river, that's how you do it. This is Brisket. This is my favorite waterfall I've ever seen. Multiple ones with those hanging conch shells and, you know, really playing up the alinor flowers and trees. And this is Matisen. So if you wanted to go see it, you can. I think the rest of the house is a school. So this is just a school, but this is the backyard of the school. And I'm sorry if I'm really boring today. I have a lot, you know, I have a lot to show you, but this is, you know, what we got to deal with because we don't have ESO to show. So I have to go with all of my screenshots. And then I have a lot to say about them. For any of you who are new to me, I am the builds of Night Owlish. Yeah, I showed one of the Night Owlish pictures. She is really good. I'm sure I'll come across another. This is the interior Resigic. This is Murtag the Mite. Murtaugh, perhaps. And they built an aquarium. Thank you. I took so many pictures because I go everywhere. They took an aquarium and built it into Sigic, which I never would have thought. Oh, I'm glad. Hi, Primordial. How you doing? I know you. You're in at least one of my guilds. You're fun. Yeah, it's, normally I tour houses, but obviously I can't. So I have a collection of different types of screenshots. So these are all my aquatic screenshots. And then once I'm done with these, we can move on to others because I have plenty and it'll keep us busy while the server's down. And I'm assuming you guys are checking to see when the server goes back up because I'm not. This is Zargon. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Czargon. I don't know who this person is, but I went and visited their house, and they're also their Sigic. And I just guess I liked what they did here with the glowing clam. That's one of those glowy lights now that change color, Meridia maybe. I don't know what they are called, but they change colors, and putting it in the clam was a clever idea. It really looks neat. This is Synthetic. This is their Halls of Colossus, and they built, not topiary, oh my god, the word, terrariums. It came to me. I remembered the word. So this is a terrarium, and so here we go. We've got, they use the display cases, which are really useful. Now, if you ever use a display case, my best advice to you is this: put a light in it inside the display case, because otherwise you can't really see easily into it. So if you notice, they used the lit up plants. Oh, they're hard to do well, especially if you don't have a light. So they used the plants that are lit up, you see. So they did a really good job with that. You know, they stealth removed the glow from these flowers. They originally had them. Jerks. Anyway, so here you go. You have, and also here you have movement. I love movement. So putting that guy in there, you know, because they sway, they dance. So I love that. This is Wyatt626. Now, this may be too bright for all of you. I personally would have turned down the brightness on the floor and the walls. This is the wainscoting that you can add, but the windows look great bright. You can leave the windows bright. Now, they also did a fish tank. Now, I took a picture of this fish tank because I thought that they did a really good job with, you know, putting the picture behind it, the ocean. There's nothing wrong with glowing flowers. Oh, why did they turn it off? Because they're jerks, you know. I don't know why. They messed things up, dude. I don't know why they did it. I wish I did. And then you just built a cute little scenario in here and used the EHT fishies. Now, they layered well enough that these don't flicker out. And using a pet, that's great because it moves. And if people don't have EHT, they'll see the pet. They may not see the fish, but they'll see the pet. Baby Shadow. This is, they put EHT in their, I guess just the main hall of the Lunar Champion. And I just thought this was really pretty. The way of doing an EHT, you just sink it into the wall. I mean, what else is there? You know, this room is so ruined, you might as well build it up. Okay, so that's it for the first thing. Those are aquatic. Let's do entire homes, because some of these homes you'll never, ever, ever see. There's a reason for that. This home, I don't recall her name, but it is Spothead's girlfriend or wife. Oh gosh, I wish the name came to me. But this house has been destroyed. It no longer exists. And that's such a sin because it's beautiful. So my photos of it may be all that exists of this house. That's a butterfly bush. Those are those pancake guys, flapjack guys. And then the little bunny, stuck the little bunny pet into the rotted log. This is a Mad Hatter build. So you'll see some incredible photos here. Oh, unless I moved them. I think I moved them into something else, which we can look at later. I don't know why I took this picture. This is the inside of Ziva's house, Z-Y-V-A, and they built a lot of stuff up in here, but that's the statue of Periite, and they made a little coral area. Now, what I like about this is they took the ocean feel and brought it into the room. So by putting coral in the room and putting, you know, fancier coral in the room, the shelf, the limestone shelves, I think they really bring the outside in, and that's always a good thing. This was, at the time that I found it, my favorite house. I think this is maybe Kara E, and I apologize if I'm wrong. But this is also an earth tear. Look at this house. Look at it. It's amazing. Mostly, I think I grabbed from the ideas from this one was using the sintered rock from Cold Harbor can give things such texture that it draws the eye, and I think it gives interest to walls that otherwise would be boring. And, you know, putting the trees in the next to it livens it up so it doesn't look so rock-like. Somebody tell me if we're back up. I don't think it'll happen, but let me know. And then there's more pictures of this. So here you are from looking at a close-up of that wall, same wall. They just put their busts in here, so that looks good. And then some ferns to break it up. I don't know, does this statue does not normally have this gold here? I've been meaning to check, but I think what they did is they just took one of these busts and then like leaned it in slightly, so it looks like it has a gold touch to it. It's something I want to explore more. Here's a close-up of that same room. Oh, Alveara, A-L-V-A-I-R-A-S, Alvearas, or Alveara without the S. And stunning, gorgeous. The light coming from above this altar-ish area, and it's just beautiful. I mean, they did such a fabulous job. And I know I'm gushing, but what else do we have to do, right? You could ask me questions. I'm always up for a question. This is the section of Alveara's house that I consider like the shrine or the altar / throne centerpiece, whatever you want to call it. And there's a lot going on here. In addition to having some of these crown-only statues, they've got Debella, whose boob is showing. Debella holding a plant here, but above the flower is the Elder Scroll. So whoever this person is, it can obviously PvP, because I sure as heck don't have an Elder Scroll. How do you come up with my name? How did I come? I think I just made it up. I don't think it was based on anything, really. Isn't that odd? I just came up with it. I don't know. I have a weird sense of humor. But centered rock again, and then they have the throne in front of it. And it's Steady. Yes, Morgo Twitch. It's me. Um, keeping us going when we have nothing to talk about. Oh no, it's fine. My thoughts are always dead. I think this is the other goddess. What's her name? It starts with an A. Dawn and Dusk. I can't remember her stupid name. Anyway, that's her. If I could remember her name, she's right behind here. It's my arthritis. My arthritis and my arthritis meds kill my memory. Azura, thank you, Doobs. Nice to see you also. Thank you for joining me. I think we're all bored. And I think none of us have anything to do until, well, I mean, things we were supposed to be doing. I thought the longest time you were a male player, not that it matters at all, but it's really cool to have a face with a name in-game now. You're welcome. Actually, a lot of guys think that I'm a male. A lot of people think that I'm male. Somehow they think the name Stabity Doom is male. My name used to be U.S. Grant. Then everybody thought I was Guy. I'm a Civil War nut, so I was, my cat's named Grant, too. I had one named Sherman, but he died in February, so I have just Grant now. And, yeah, you have to do chores, but I'm finally catching one of your streams. You can do the chores. Don't feel bad. I know you can watch it some other time if you want. So, yeah, I have to do chores, too. My house is a mess right now. Everything but this room is a mess. And I also have to do some cooking and whatever. Yeah, thank you. He was my baby. I don't have kids. So my cats are my life. Well, that and, ESO, whatnot. So yeah, I loved this house. This house was so well done. This is... whose house is this? I didn't write it down because I'm an idiot. So, Sithis, chillin' here with, a giant library, as you do. So this is a good idea. You can steal this. They took the columns and they put here, they used the Red Guard, studded bookcases that are full, but you don't have to use those. You can use different ones. I think it might look better with one of the stone ones. And then here's the, they just stuck a fireplace in the middle over here. No, I think these particular pillars are crown only. But you could use different pillars. You don't have to use these. Do they come with the house? I don't know which house this is. This must be Earth Tear then, because I don't have them. I've never seen them. So maybe they're Earth Tear. I'm not sure. That's a good point. Thank you. So yeah, I liked this. I thought it was an interesting way to do Sithis. Okay, and then this may be, yeah, this is the same house. So that was still the same girl's house. I can't remember her name. But yeah, this is just beautiful. A lot of crown stuff in here though. Like this particular centered rock, you have to buy from the crown store. You can't buy this. You can't just buy this in Clockwork, which is stupid. So I ended up trying to make a copy of them in one of my homes. But it's hard to do. You really just, I mean, so many crown store items are so good. It sucks. As you can see, I kind of went nuts with this house, taking pictures of it. So there's just a lot of stuff going on that I loved. And I took ideas from. This is the same one, same house. And they've got this fountain built in over the water like someone else did. You can always make use of water bodies right here. Wait, you can pause me anytime. I don't care. Whatever. You can always come back and watch me later. I think they use the Iliad thrones here. So somebody spent a ton of money on this is what really happened. Ton of money along with good ideas equals awesome house. Why not? Same person, and then we have just this stairway up to the next floor because they designed the entire second floor which didn't exist. This is Stone's Edge house. Now, Stone's Edge is an amazing builder. Believe it or not, this is Craigenholm. They entirely redid Craigenholm and made it a garden. It's an absolute garden on the inside. They used rock up against the wall. They put ivy in here. They put artwork in here. They put glowy flowers in here. They put hedges, trees. They did it 100% all out. Oh, I'm too precious to leave hanging. Thank you. At least somebody in my life thinks that. Thanks, Morgo, for following me. Well, Funky, all is not lost because you have a stabby potato here who is entertaining you while we're down. Because I am probably the only person with 1,000,001 screenshots to keep you bored with. I mean, busy with. So, at least you have me in the background, right? So, yeah, this is Stone's Edge's house. If you ever get a chance to go to their Craigenholm, I think it's still there. You should go. You're welcome. So yeah, this is just beautiful. And you know what's funny is my Craigenholm is a tree storage. Like literally, that's all I have. I say literally like that. And I know it's incorrect grammar, and I'm sorry, but it's become a thing. So my storage, this is my tree storage house. I have an entire house for tree storage. I have an entire house for rock storage. I have an entire house for vine storage. It's ridiculous. At this point, I'm gonna have to start getting rid of stuff because, you know, it's great, but to have them on hand when you need them and not have to buy them, but it's, you know, I'm running out of houses. This is still Stone's Edge. This is the same house. Now there's a waterfall in here, so we have the beautiful movement that I love. And this, just look at this little nook over here. And they added all the alinor stuff. This does not have this here. They added all of this fence work and the allied stuff, and it's just beautiful. So, I mean, I've never seen a better Craigenholm, right? Oh, you do? Wow. I sort mine because I'm ridiculous. Same house, so we have another view of it. I love it. Hedges to fill out the interior of the lined flower areas. Another waterfall, or maybe another view of the same one, I'm not sure. So this is when you get up into the top half. They separated the house from like an upper and a lower. This was a Valentine's Day house. Actually, you can see I took the picture on February 14th, 2019. So this was, the language isn't unchangeable. Can't even say that because words are hard. But I got you, dudes. This one was in J Hart's Valentine's Day contest, I think. I don't know if it won. Should have. But what you have going on here that you can see is the Valentine's-y aspect is you have Tithys and Numisma are hooking up in this corner over here. And then they made use of the window that's already there. Prescriptivist. Okay. That's a big word. So they stuck them in the corner, and so this is a lovey-dovey little house. Okay, so here we go with Greekvamp, who's ridiculous. Greekvamp's houses are easily probably the best builder in ESO. I don't know that I think anyone is better, at least not for creativity. This is Forsaken Stronghold, believe it or not. He doesn't go in the house at all. So what they did is he built like a shanty town and put multiple layers of rock, as you can see, fencing. And now each of these little areas, these little houses are enterable. You can go into them. They have things in them. So it's an entire city, you know, such that it is. And it's built into Forsaken and makes use of that open area before Forsaken house itself, and then ignores the rest of the house. And then it's 576 out of 600 items. No, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing in person. When we go up, you should check it out. And the stairway was so well done between the rocks because it doesn't look even. It's not supposed to. Yeah, it is unbelievable. It's amazing. And it's better when you get up there because you can actually go in all those houses. But I think I got rid of the pictures because the interior of the houses was like, you know, a poor person. So it had like a bucket and a fire and whatnot. And I actually think I took this inspiration to make one of the little towns that I made in the front of Forsaken, actually. But mine was little houses. Mine did not use the layered look, which probably would have given me more space. And then this is also, I think, Greekvamp. Not 100% sure. But this is Velothi. And they did a tree house in their backyard of Velothi. And this is using a mangrove tree. And I guess, you know what I did is I moved some of these screenshots into other folders. So I apologize for that, but we'll see them later, I'm sure. This is also Greekvamp. This is their Gornier. They built an old west town in their Gornier. This is a church over here. This is the, once you walk in here, there's a whole town. And then this is the train that comes in, you know, and the train, I think I move it over to, yeah. So we're done there, but I will show you the rest of those houses because I have them in other places. Let's look at freestanding buildings. Freestanding buildings, because I know these have the pictures in them, and there's so many of them. Cold Harbor Surreal Estate. The name escapes me. I don't think it was... I'm sorry, I don't remember whose house this is, but they made a ginormous mountain, and you can go up on this mountain, you can go in this mountain. And it's amazing. Okay, Synozeer. Synozeer. And I think it's still here. So if you run up to that mountain, it looks even more mountain-like. And you can climb up the outside. You see there's a statue up top. But you can also go in it, and it has like a whole crystal area that's really beautiful. But this is made from scratch. And it actually it works, you know? This is Zoisitnega. I can't even spell it. But no, the ones this early where I didn't have the name up top is before EHT. No, that's not a background. That's an actual building that you can go in. These are freestanding buildings. But once I'll tell you when we get to the ones that are open houses. But I know that that's a public house, the one with the mountain, Synozeer's house, so you can visit it at any time. He was very proud of it, and he wanted to show it off, so I don't think there's a problem with it. Zoisite Nega's, I don't recall which house this is. It doesn't really matter. I think it might be Cold Harbor. I'm not sure. But here you go. You've got a free-built little stone. These are Daedric rock, just put flat. So you built a little Daedric hallway kind of thing. And then you have, you know, a Banekin setting this on fire. So what I'm getting at with this is that you can build caves like this and keep it very Daedric looking and not even use the house, you know? This was, I know whose this was, if I could remember his name. Tabasco Dog. Tabasco Dog in the grotto used 700 of 700 items, and he built the entire place around the waterfall. So these grates actually allow the waterfall to come through, but he's got a regular house all around it, which is pretty impressive. This also should be a house that you could go visit, and there's a whole lot of this freestanding waterfall stuff going on. Don't recall whose house this was. I feel bad talking about it. Big Red 714. They did a freestanding in Cold Harbor. I think that this was. I think that Tabasco Dog actually entered a contest and won, or this may have been DDA. I'm not sure, but I do think it was a contest entry. So this is Big Red, and he has all of those mushrooms floating in the air like balloons. Not mushrooms, spider eggs. Yeah, I think so. And then built just regular towers over here, you know. These weren't there. Cold Harbor has nothing like this in it. And he's got pigs flying, which I think is funny, you know. I have that sense of humor. I know I'm all over the place, but the problem is that I sorted these. So normally I would have a bunch of the same house in a row, but I sorted them for my use. I forget whose house this is, and that's a shame because they're really amazing, and it was their first house ever. But this is the entry into a circus. So let's see if it's in here. This is where you pay. I don't recall whose face. I hope I wrote down whose it was. And this is the interior of the. This must be Cold Harbor, I think. And this is the interior of the house. And you've got. They made a tent. They made a giant circus tent out of those red guard things. Hey, Marksdam. Nice to see you. Unfortunately, none of my stuff works. I haven't figured it all out yet. But they did use EHT for this because look how precise this is. There's no way they could have done it without EHT, which I'd show you how to do if we were up, but we're not. Sadness. These are the where you sit to watch the show, and you know, breaking it up with pillows was a really great idea. Now, what amazes me is I forget whose build this was, but it was literally their first build ever. Could you imagine having that kind of talent? Oh, here you go. This is the actual circus act. So they have all these flaming torches in a circle. And then now the cinch has to jump through it. And so that's just, I've never seen anyone actually do this. Yeah, this was their first house. And they figured out EHT in it. The building portion of EHT, not even the FX, which is just easy. This is just the building portion, and they made this incredible picture. I mean, this incredible show. Greekvamp, which I've shown you a million times. I've shown you all of this, but I don't have the heart to delete it. Okay, so remember we were talking about, I said in Velothi he had an actual tree house in the backyard. Well, here you go. This is Greekvamp's tree house. It's a mangrove tree, and then you can go up in this, not by the hanging, you know, library shelves, but there is a way up there. And so the outside is literally a tree house. So, you know, made out of planks and whatnot. And you could do this. It's not too hard to come up with the outside. It's the inside that's kind of impressive. That one, yeah, I love the ladders. Yeah, it's a really good idea. And then when you get up here, you know, there's all sorts of stuff going on with tiny little decorations and pets and whatnot in this tree house. And this is the interior of the tree house. This is where you sit and read your book and enjoy it and have a banana, because of course you do. Yeah, so this is beautiful. This is Greekvamp. It's an idea I've never seen executed before. I've seen tree houses, but never a traditional tree house. This is also Greekvamp. Oh, I think this was another version of their Cold Harbor. The one that had the, this was the early version of their Dracula's castle that they have. So I think this was an earlier version, and so he built it twice. And this is what it looked like originally. Crazy. Oh, I've shown you this house. This is RTM's, this is their town, and it's their Strident Springs, and if you want to see the most amazing town build I've ever seen, this is it. So go there, write it down. RTM's, ARTIEMES, Strident Springs. This is Sharalei, and that means it's probably no longer there because she's insane. This is the exercised cottage, which you can get when a game is up for Halloween. And she built this from scratch over it. And it's all alinor, and it's a freestanding structure that completely ignores the cottage. And what's amazing is I've recently learned from Calyrax, I think, or Galileo, that you can build so freaking high in this. Oh, it gets better too bad because she has an ocean view in this. She's so talented. Then this is up the first set of stairs. She's got this beautiful little section. Here she goes. This is the cottage. She has an ocean view at the cottage. Could you believe it? You can do this with your cottage. Take the ocean view, make use of it. And it's no longer a spooky house. This is a gorgeous beach house now. It is madness, isn't it? And I mean, like, I'm not sure if it's still here because she tends to destroy things that she makes, but this was a eye-opening experience, and she won for this. Obviously, this was a contest entry. This is the second or third floor she's got going on here. It just kept going. 400 out of 400. This is 200 of this because this account isn't ESO plus. So I mean, just used every item, made it look livable, and still built, you know, something on the ocean, which is just amazing. She did a tremendous job, and I learned a lot from this about what Exercised has available to it. You can do so much with it. And I think this is not where we started, but this was supposed to be in Calyrax. This was supposed to be in first person. I think they won. This was, I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, but it's some portion of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but I thought it was really neat. And it's in action. It's like an action picture. And if you're in first person, unlike I did here, you could really have a beautiful castle. At the time, I was trying to build Gondor. Okay. At the time, I was trying to build a castle. So I was taking pictures of the structure, not so much the action, which I am sorry, because there's a lot going on, and it was a really beautiful build. It may still be up. Hey, Twantle. I am trying to keep us busy while we're down. Looking at Calyrax's Gondor. So there's a battle going on, and if you were in first person, this looks like you're looking at something bigger than you. But I didn't do that because I suck. Tayate did The Hobbit. This should still be there. She used only a small portion of the house, which I don't remember which house it was, but tiny little area. And she made a beautiful garden, and EHT kind of made it into eyes. You know, the windows look like eyes. And so this is just, she also won DDA contest. I forget which one. But that's just a small picture of what she did. You really should go visit it. It's incredible. Chryseia. Chryseia went to the grotto and built an entire mansion portion of it. Now, Chryseia really likes bright builds. It shows off her detail work very much. I'm a less bright person. I probably turn down the color a lot, but it works for what she's doing, and she's so talented. I don't think there's anybody who's better than EHT than her, except for maybe Cardi. And so she made this beautiful mansion in the grotto, and that's actually Cardi back there. We went and visited with Cardi, and this is almost all, except for the arches, this is almost all utilizing different aspects of EHT. Now, this is the Redguard table, a Redguard game table, and what she did is she sunk all this Redguard stuff into the ground, and by adding the wood around it, it looks like like it's wood inlay. And that's an idea that even if you don't, even if this isn't your style, this is something you could take, because it's so beautiful. And here's a little preview of what she ended up doing with Rapunzel's tower. Is she ended up using these Breton vases as part of her railing. The stuff is just incredible. The detail work that she has here is just tremendous, and I'm not even doing it justice. Whose house is this? I have Simes, Domus Frasticus. She built a little barn in the background. Did I say the wrong name? I'm sorry. Yeah, Chryseia. She's amazing. Yeah, so Eyes of Simes, who I think is a streamer, does a lot of artwork. And they made this cute little barn in the back. And I mean, it's simple, but it's you know, I don't see it a lot. Cold Harbor. This is what I was talking about with Skulllord. This is gone. Okay, you will never see it again. He does that. Like, he'll destroy his build after he does it. But here was a freestanding hotel, and it looks like a freestanding hotel that you can build. I mean, it's got a little bit of a rough edge here, but that's because he's not really focusing on that. He wants things to look surreal. This looks surreal. When you get inside, things are even more surreal. So it's his style, and I like it. And he's crazy talented. Dan Elder, they did the Bates Motel. The entire movie worth of the Bates Motel. The Doom is going over here just fine. Just waiting for the game to go up. I don't know. I haven't been checking. I probably should. Server status. Server status. Let's see. We're down. Shocking. So I'm keeping people busy because I have enough screenshots to go until the end of time. So we're just chatting. If you have questions, ask them. Doesn't have to be building related. I'm just keeping us busy. This is Dan Elder's Bates Motel. This was just an extra section. This is the motel portion. There's actually an entire other portion. This didn't win the contest that it was entered into, and that was a sin because it should have. You think what happens is people go to these houses without EHT and they don't see what they built and how incredible it is. This is the worst thing in the history of Faevara. Ever. Yeah. Yeah, there's never been anything worse than that, ever. So, yeah, this was at her Amaya, and your green man in DD8 Discord thinking of recreating. I'll check it out. But it pissed me off that this didn't win because the whole thing in the interior was incredible. He had the whole she had the whole story from beginning to end, and it was fabulous. This is, again, Chryseia. Chryseia made use of this. Sleek Creek has so much potential. You've had your house judged by people watching a streamer. I have always tried to be gentle. You know how J Heart is. J Heart's supremely gentle. There are times where people aren't as gentle as the streamer, but the streamers should know, and I think do know, how much work goes into things, and they should be gentle. And appreciate, even if you don't love everything about a build. Yeah. That's the thing. I like to take my time. I like to sit and look at the details. And so he serves his purpose very well with his contests. He goes through them like that. But a lot of times I'll go back through the houses that he's looked at and really focus on the details and try to talk to people about them, because I talk more about how to build. He really just shows inspiration for builds. We both serve our purpose, I suppose. These are just the Khajiit posts, I guess, that you can buy. And she built this with EHT. That's what those are. But she makes use of this incredible view that I think we kind of miss out on if you use the standard Sleek Creek house. This is a add-on. This isn't normally here. So as you can see, this is probably the back door. She built over the portion of Sleek Creek, and by using fairly affordable furnishings too, and made basically cobbled an entire kitchen here, you know. And I love when she does with, that's an upside down Merkmeyer candle, the shell candle. It looks like she's got some sort of dough there, and when you put it with the rolling pin, which is also cobbled, because I think this is before we had rolling pins. That looks like the blank, the key blank on either side of something. Made a little stove here. Incredible. And using all of these boxes together, it makes it really beautiful. Kitchen, this was amazing. This This is she used a Kajiti bed to make, you know, some sort of arch over it, and there's your table. I mean, your counters. Beautiful. This was what I really fell in love with, though. This is the second floor that isn't there. She built it on. And she made use of the incredible view. She's sort of built slightly over the fence, which you can do. You can go slightly over the fence so that you can stand here and look at it. Is the haunted house for DDA tonight? That's a good question. I actually don't know. I know that J Hart tends to review them tomorrow on Sundays at 3 Eastern. So I don't know. But it's possible. He has also got his contest going on, though, for the NPC costume for tomorrow, which I didn't enter, so I hope you all entered because I did not. Just a little details here, too, is the cobbled stuff, not even counting the stuff that she has built from EHT. She's got a chair here. This is a backless chair, but with a Kajiti, yeah, I know. Actually, he's partially involved with DDA. I think he's a co-GM or something. I don't know. This is Kajiti pillow as the backrest, and then using those cups as armrests. I mean, it's just such beautiful detail work, you know? Like, she has great ideas. And if you want to cobble some things like this, I ended up building a see-through floor restaurant based on the inspiration from here, which is I wanted beautiful windows, and I tried to do this with the curtains, but it was difficult. And I did it in Telgalen, and it ended up looking completely different, which is how these things go. Exercise Coven again. This is Frank Myers, FRKMYERS. They completely redid this area to look entirely different. This does not look like Exercise at all. If you don't want to go with the scary, this is a totally awesome option. These are, I believe, you can buy these are just a regular furnishing vendor. They repaneled the entire house, the Exercised house, and made it look so homey and inviting. And the roof is covered in plants, and you know, you've got normal trees, and you've got normal plants, and it's bright. They worked against the build of the house and did a fabulous job with it. So this is one of those times where somebody had the talent and the ability to build this thing that looks nothing like the original property, and it worked. I don't know. It's gorgeous. I love it. This is another one of Chryseia's build. I was just admiring the wall work here. This again is Greekvamp. I could marry this. I love it that much. Alright, so this is Ample Domicile Research Monkey, which this ended up winning a contest. This was the three little pigs, but I didn't take this picture for that. I took it because this is Ample, and this is not normally here. So if you wanted, yeah, I know. I love it. I love houses that I don't know what they are. These are all freestanding builds that in this folder, which is why you're seeing ones that look like nothing like the house. It's because they had separate builds. And this one happened to just be, he built a little alinor house next to it for one of the three pigs. So what I was trying to get at with this picture was you can build tiny little houses. You know, you don't have to go huge. You can do a tiny little house and it serves the exact purpose of what he wanted it to do. It tells a story. Here's another view of it. Oh God, this house. This is Tiderium 79, and if you ever get the chance, go see it. This is their Hundings. Can you believe it? They don't use the house interior at all. They build right over it. They just basically, you come in and the house is just not there. They build a walkway up and you go up and this is what you see. You see elsweyr walls, elsweyr walls, elsweyr floors, elsweyr wood for ceilings, and it's just completely nothing to do with the house that's there, and it's gorgeous. It's a really tremendous house. It's an achievement as far as I'm concerned. Here's another view of it. As you can see, doesn't use the house. So here's that tower that's in the back of the house in Huntings. He incorporated it as part of the wall. So we're already out past where the house is. And this is just what it looks like. It's this tremendous mansion, which has everything walled over, and stairways and stuff like that. And it just looks like a resort. It looks to me like an actual resort, not just Huntings built over to look like a resort. Another piece, this is upstairs, one of the bedrooms. It had multiple bedrooms, and this has no wall here because he wants to open up the view, but I think you could EHT a little window here and it would look fabulous. This is Melankah, and they're Cold Harbor, and so this is built from scratch. There was nothing here, and they made a very nice alinor castle, as far as I think it's a castle, and I just really liked what they did here. I mean, it's a very tight build, and it's beautiful with the ivy flowing, and even the use of this, you know, the Assassin's Guild sign. It all works very well. This is the interior of that same house, and they put a garden in it, and, you know, raised gardens here, and then it's just the interior is all, just continues on the alinor classic look. And this is actually outdoors with like nothing over it, but there you have ceilings, you know. It's amazing how much my house looks like this. I think I probably, you know, absorbed some of this from looking at it. This is again outside. She built in windows, you can see, just by leaving holes in things. That's hard for me to think in negative space like that, but she's able to do it, and I was actually really impressed. I don't have the name on it, but this, I should know who this is. Oh, he's my friend too. Oh, can't remember it. But this is Sijic, and he built an entire, like, castle fort out over the water. Now, Sijic is almost a sin to build in the house itself, because there's so much space that you can build over the ocean. I mean, not just directly out, it goes all the way around the property to the right. And, you know, make use of that space because it's beautiful. And they made turrets and whatnot, and he actually, God, the fact that his name is escaping me at the moment is killing me. Let me pull it open. Glass ID. Glass ID is, yeah, house. This is Glass. I'm not going to say your name, but thanks for the follow. So this is Glass ID, and Glassid is a friend of mine, and he is fabulous. And thank you for the follow, Hayaki Yako. I can't pronounce your name. But this is hand-built. Nothing's here, obviously, because this is Sijic. And he is a fabulous architect. Like, he's not as good, he says, at details. He doesn't do as well with gardening. He doesn't do as well with little detail work, but his architecture is maddeningly good. If you go up in the battlements, it's all constructed beautifully. It's impressive. Here's another view of it. If you go up here, there's weaponry in here. There's little like curly Q areas within that show off garden areas, and this is up here, and it's just beautiful. Here's an interior portion of that same house. This is what I'm talking about with the curly Q gardens. He's got it flat here, and then comes in, and then curls, and then goes back in. And it's just like making use of that negative space again. It's beautiful. For someone who doesn't think he does so well with the decor on the inside, he did a really good job. So that beautiful castle look outside, and this is when you first walk in, this is what you see. And that's incredible. Another view. I think I took multiple pictures of this because I adored the curving garden walls. This is something that I wish I could do. I didn't think of it, you know? So maybe I might use it in the future, but I certainly didn't think of it myself. Same guy, Glass ID. Here's what I'm talking about. This is the battlements. The architecture I don't know if he sketches them out ahead of time or what, but it's all very thought through. It's like things are good morning, Cromwell. Things are the same on both sides, so they mirror each other. Now, when you're building, a lot of times it's really hard to make things work like that. I certainly can't do it. It's crazy. Just a beautiful, beautiful home. Oh, Kitty Kate, hello. This is Gorak 60. Gorak 60's Hall of Colossus, which won a contest. Gorak builds amazing gardens. Gorak is super talented at gardens, and if you ever want ideas for gardens, you should go see Gorak 60's house, because he doesn't really focus on anything else but gardens. So just really talented with it. And what he did here that I think I was taking the picture of is, you see this jester's tree? It's sunken into the ground a little bit, and the reason for that is it brings the eye downward. So he doesn't have a lot going on above it, but if you're framing it within the tree branch, you're going to look down. You're going to look down at what he has going on, which is the plants. And that's a really smart idea. This is Halls of Colossus. This is Melankah built this. Now, this is neat enough, but the interior is the real showstopper in here. This window alone is worth the price of admission. I hope I have another picture of it. But they built their own stove in here. And they put like lots of little stuff. I mean, you know, building freestanding is probably the hardest thing to do other than animating. And this one looks hand-built to me because not every corner is perfect, so I don't think they used EHT to do it. And that's fine. It actually shows a lot of talent to be able to do that. Although the windows are EHT, the glass. So what I'm getting at is, this is harder than it looks, but do sketch it out before you start building. Some people can just go as they go, but not me. Here's another view of that window. I don't know why I did it in such a weird way, because the view directly out is gorgeous. Broke off the rooms with, you know, the dividers, which is what they're meant for. Here we go. This is the view that is worth every dime. They built this house off of the side of the Halls of Colossus, directly viewing the waterfall, and made it probably the best build I've ever seen in Halls of Colossus, because of the fact that they were smart enough to notice what they liked the best and made the house around it. And I think that that's brilliant, and we should all learn from it, because I certainly hadn't thought of this, and this is just so smart. It's so good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in love with it. Earth Tear. Bethany Catherine's Earth Tear. Another person using what's already there and making it beautiful by framing it. That stuff's already there. And they just made a window out of a freestanding wall and whatnot to let you go look at it. But, you know, maybe they don't want you going back here because they don't have this all furnished back here. So maybe, you know, by doing it this way, you're just going to look, but you're not going to hop through the window and go running out there to see if it's furnished. And so that's a good way of keeping people away from parts of your area that you don't want them in. I just took this picture because don't those look like high heels? This has nothing to do with anything and I don't know why it's in this folder, but since it is, here you go. Let me check to see if it's up. I'm sure it's not, but one can dream. Nope, still not up. So here you go. Alakir, by the way. EU. This is on EU. This is Trade. And Trade is freaking fabulous at freestanding builds. This is Pariahs. They did a freestanding build. Those are the Red Guard cloth roofs. And then they made use of that achievement orc thing and some of the crystals. And they built a little ski lodge, is what it looks like to me. And the interior is just really nice and really well done. But I'm skipping over to DJ Freed, who made the most beautiful build I've ever seen. It's pure talent. This build is just wavy lines. It's hard to get a grasp of what it is from here, but it's like an abstract art, and it's got just these. I want to show it to you in real life because it doesn't do it justice. So I'm going to kind of skip it for now. This is Black Flag Bazaar. This is NA, I think. Halls of Colossus. So they built up. And now why I took this picture is because it's really hard to get a nice looking stairway down to the water. And I thought this was a really well done one. It looks very solid. It isn't too bad. The problem with building down to the water in the Halls of Colossus is that it has invisible walls. You can't go past a certain point. So as you're building down, eventually you're going to hit an invisible wall. So you have to turn. And you can see that these people, this person did it really well. They made a platform, and then you go down another few steps, and then I'm sure there's another steps here. So they used bigger things than most people use to build down to the water. Most people use like little limestone stairs or something, or even planks. This person used something more permanent looking, and I think it really worked. Okay, are we back to the beginning? We are back to the beginning. So I'm gonna be running out of things soon, I suppose. Interior furnishing. I have not talked about interior furnishing. Sorry guys, I'm gonna be really boring. But it's all I got. This is Sharalei. They did their snow globe. Did I go offline? I don't know why I can't see you guys right now. There you are. Okay. So this is Sharalei. Christmas build, obviously, on the inside of the Enchanted. I think I took this picture mainly because of the Breton curtains. Look how they connect to each other. I think that I've never seen anyone else do that. And that's kind of weird that I've never seen anyone else do it. It has a name. Not drapery, but like, I forget what the name is called. But it's really cool. And then this was inside Cave Mutt's house. There's Sijic. No one really lights up these alcoves. So I thought this was a really clever way of just making the place more interesting looking, lighting up each of the alcoves. You can steal this idea. There's no reason not to. Okay, this is all Kara E. I fell in love with her work. She uses a lot of Crown Store items, so it's going to be an expensive thing or one way or the other. And this was the interior of her lintel, I believe. And what I loved about this was her flower design is just so beautiful, you know. Those achievement flowers, there's some grapes there. You probably can't see it. And then the lovely flowers here. I mean, it just makes the whole house look so elegant. Here's another one of hers. This is the inside of her Sijic. And she just, with ginkgo trees and ivy, made the whole place come alive. The curtains really help. The wisteria really helps. It looks just so much more inviting than it normally does, doesn't it? Again, with Kara E, she does really amazing. Oh, it's downloading a patch. Thank you for the information, Funky. I'm gonna open my loader so that it starts downloading the patch. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, folks. If we're up, I'll call it, but I just wanted to keep you busy until then. Just a nice little arrangement I liked. Kara E again, and this is just another view of the beautiful stuff she does. Check out that flower arrangement. The purple and the gold. Gorgeous. Such talent. Kara E again. I took this picture because I find it really hard to put like conversation nooks in areas. Oh, it's taken a while to download. This is not a quick download. Jesus. I mean, it's not super slow, but it's kind of surprising that they're going to put such a big patch in. I hope it works. I hope we're up once we patched. Here's the so I thought this was a good idea. Just using the pews all turned towards each other with something in the middle and then lots of pillows. I think that's a good way of doing it. if you want to make a little conversation nook. Closing off different parts of the area with conversation nooks is with furnishings in little groups like that. It's something I never think to do, but it's actually what you're supposed to do in interior design. You know, don't just put your furnishings all around the corners of the house. Actually build out a little bit like that. Kara E again, I just liked what she did here with the different tables and what she has on them. Everybody go download your patch. Open your launcher and have it start downloading the patch so that you can see it. It's at 99%, folks, so I'll tell you if we're going to go up. I don't know. All right, it's at 100%. It says play. Let's see if you open or if you're going to give me an error. I'm checking. This is Yuzuha on NA, and I just loved taking, still down. Thank you, Crimson Phoenix. This is just a bed, you know, not one of the big fancy beds. Yeah, you're right, still down. But get the patch anyway. It'll make things faster, I think. But putting pillows on it makes it look different, doesn't it? You know, you can take one of these smaller double or single beds and then just put pillows on it, and it looks great. This is, I think, Zendyra. I don't have the name on it. I'm sorry. Can I tour houses on PTS? Is PTS even up? Or I probably could, but, you know, are you guys bored with? You probably are. I probably don't want to ask you that. But I have these screenshots, so might as well use them, right? This is Zendyra, I think. This is her basement of her crafting house, and she just put all this stuff in a cabinet, and it makes it look like it's in use. Again, this is another one where the Orcish cabinets, invest in these. They look amazing in kitchens. You can hang things from them. You can put things under. You can put things in them. They're amazing looking. I love them. They're fabulous for so many things. I even had it in my storage house for a while. I had all of my stuff separated by item with those. This is Cintrine, and they're they're enchanted. I just loved the window boxes and the lights. These have gotten a lot cheaper now that alinor stuff is so much easier to come by. So if you want to build these, they're really beautiful lights, and they really light things up very brightly, and I love the flowers. Window boxes, for some reason, work really well in this house. This is someone's name who I didn't write down, but it's that same bed we were looking at in the other house with different pillows. And look at how this luxury wedding curtain thing fits perfectly over it. I mean, it just looks like it belongs, and now you have a gazebo bed. You know, you could do this. It looks perfect. I wonder what other things it has over it, that other beds you could do this with. I just think it's really cool. Here's another view of it. It looks perfect. It looks exactly like one. Is it a gazebo bed that I'm thinking of? What is it called when it has these curtains around them? I forget what it's called. I don't know. If you guys know, you tell me. This is Teaglin's house. What I liked about this house is multiple things. First of all, they divided it, yes, but they used this old moss that is, you either get this from Erstwhile or you pay a fortune for it. I think they have that picture on Sideways. I guess you could do that. Becomes abstract art, but then you can do that. I took this picture because I thought it was a really good example of a little nook, and it makes things very warm in an otherwise stone house. By this, you know, it's really easy to have these houses be very cold looking because of it. Canopy bed. Thank you, Crimson. That's exactly what I was trying to come up with. Canopy bed. I called it a gazebo bed. I'm so stupid. So just putting a rug and making a little nice area for people to sit in makes it much warm. This is Dirt Diver 6. This is a bathroom. I love bathrooms in this game. This is just a carpet. This is an imperial carpet, but you have to buy it. But with curtains, it almost looks like a shower could be here, but it's just a bathroom, I think. And the curtains you can close, I would assume, is the idea. So it's just a little bathroom. This is Archaic Media, who's a friend of mine. By putting the floating bed over the water, it looks like a water bed. It looks like the bed is actually floating on the water. Now, what I was thinking about this is you could actually use that theory, use those floating beds to make a boat, because they move and the boat would rock. That would be just amazing. I think it's a really good idea, and it's something that I haven't seen anyone do. This is a Faevara again, Avaira. I believe this is her sleep creek. I'm not positive. And what I took this picture for was the couch. This is two beds put in an angle from one another, and pillows just tossed on top, and it looks like a gorgeous couch, doesn't it? I feel like I'm boring you people. I'm so sorry if I am. I'm doing my best to keep you occupied, but unfortunately, you know, I cannot pretend to be the server. It's a shame. Let me close out of. Wow. I mean, wow. Holy crap. I went back 10 years there. Okay. Another interior. You're taking notes. Goodness. I'm glad. This is whose house? Dodolau. Dodolau. And this is their alinor. Why I took this picture is because I don't like what necessarily all's furnishings up against the wall in most houses. Aw, thank you. But in this case it works because what they made the centerpiece was the rug. And this is something you can do. This is the Breton round rug. You can also use the square one and carpet, and it will fill up the entire room if you use the square one. And then they layered it with another carpet, making the second carpet a centerpiece of it. I suppose that they thought of it as part of the carpet once you sink it in, but I personally think that this is a tool that people don't use often enough. I think you can layer carpeting, and definitely I stock up on the Breton carpets. I have like 5 at any given time. Whenever I see them for sale for cheap, I buy them because I like carpeting in my house, and it's the only one that's really big enough to do a good job with it. This is Amaya, Greekvamp again. Tea ceremony. I just thought it was a really pretty tea ceremony over here. This is, I don't know. Somebody's alinor. Apologize for not knowing. This is just a regular alinor library, I guess. You know, shelving. And then they put little things, you know, a jester's box, a shell, one of those orichalcum things, a pearl, and they really filled it up pretty easily, and it looks very unique. I don't think I've seen anybody else do that, and it's a really good job. When I walked into this house, they were RPing, and it was not ERP, it was regular RP. Thank you for the follow, Adeniums. It was regular RP, and I was just embarrassed. And I had to run away as quickly as possible, which is why it probably didn't have the name on it. This is Zendyra. Zendyra does this cool thing where she makes paintings come alive. And you can do it too. And this is how she does it. First of all, she used a pet. So the pet standing on top of the castle here is something you could do with a different kind of pet if you wanted. And then she put a fire behind it, like actual lights. So it looks like this is on fire, and that the dragon just set it on fire. So she built little stories just into the existing paintings by using pets and items. Brilliant. Again, this is Skulllord 1415, which means it's no longer there. He always does this with his Cold Harbor. He makes things and then he destroys them. So you know, they're very ephemeral. You have to grab them while they're up. He made this lamp. These are those wedding gazebos. That's where I was getting the word gazebo from. And he put them at an angle, and then it would have been, maybe, I don't know, maybe it would have been worse. I was just visiting houses and I just walked in on there having a huge meeting and I don't even know whose it was. I think these are the Tanzelwell lights that you can get from an achievement vendor. Actually, I need to tell my husband I apologize for this, but I gotta tell him I'm okay. So that's done. All right, back to what we were talking about. This is so just sticking these lights within the gazebos made a beautiful lamp. And it's such an unusual chandelier type deal. And you know, people charge like 1,000,000 gold to build a chandelier these days. Build your own. And this is a good idea for one. It's so simple. You could do this. It's probably expensive, but you could do this and it's kind of simple. Why is this being stupid? Great. I've been streaming behind his head. I don't know what that means. That's what my husband just said to me. Okay. Next. This is Snowfaeriewings. She's a really talented builder. And I mean, this is kind of a simple thing, but sometimes the best things are simple things. This is a pariahs, and she took an Ayleid throne and the blue crystals that we can always get from the vendors, you know, the Lux vendor every year. And I know you probably have blue crystals laying around because Lord knows I do. And just by putting it around the Ayleid throne, she brings the color out and it becomes this beautiful center point. And I think it's a really good idea that you can steal. Again, with the layering of carpets. This is the square carpet, the Breton carpet I tell you I have 1,000,000 of. Then they layered the circular small Breton carpet in the middle. And now, because the colors are exactly the same and the decor is so similar, it looks like they are the same rug when you put them together. But what it does is it makes this little area look like it's a nook of its own. So you can set off this little area with couches or a chair or a game. I tend to think of these as a game, but Jay Hart says that he thinks of them as chocolates. Whatever. This is whose house? Badger Mutt. Badger Mutt's house, and I don't know which one. Okay, this is Bellet Seri, who I've enjoyed several of her homes on this stream. But these are almost like in a restaurant. This is a booth. And she took 2 beds, put them on angles to make the booth chairs, and then put it in the middle, you know, a chair in the middle, table in the middle rather. And so this looks like a booth in a restaurant, if that was something you were going for. You vote chocolate? Probably. Okay, this is, don't have it written up. Treble. They won for this build. They did D&D earlier. I have a picture of them doing D&D, but here, yeah, you can see it. They have like the little dice. You want me to go back to which one? This one? This is Bella's series. Did they use that orc counter as a planter? Yeah, it looks like they did. You could do that. I don't see why you couldn't. And it also makes it more of a booth by putting, you know, something behind it on each end. Because I think this was supposed to be a restaurant. So I think it works. Steel. That's why I'm doing this. So here's them playing D&D. But it also seems like no, they're not painting. That was just my initial thought when I saw the pens, but I don't think they're painting them. I think those are just drinks. I think they're playing D&D and that these are their markers of who, you know. I think it's a really clever idea of D&D. It's really cute. Treble. Treble also did DDA. What is it called when you Dance Dance Revolution? He made Dance Dance Revolution. So simple, but so clever. Just using the little cloth pieces and burying them into stuff and using a switch. And suddenly you have Dance Dance Revolution. And this was a party house, and I think it won. It's so clever. Such a great idea if you want to do something more modern. Snowfaeriewings. I learned a lot from her. She won for this beautiful multi-waterfall, separate different waterfalls all put into one over the fireplace. Now, obviously, this wouldn't work in real life because the water and the fire don't go together. They kind of would put each other out. But she did such a neat thing with it, and you know, burying the eagle behind it gives you something to look at. Putting the plate eagle in it lets you look at something. And then up on the walls, spreading out the shelving in uneven ways and putting plates up on them. In fact, this wall, I think this is black vine, this wall is actually just replaced too. I think that might be elsweyr walls. So the whole section here is redone from the house, just completely redone and beautiful. Yeah, it would have. It would have, Funky. But, you know, I don't think Treebill is big on the EHT. I think he does things by hand. But, you know, everybody's got their own thing. I know, I've seen your internet bar, and I think your internet bar but does it better than anyone I've seen. So this is beautiful. Yeah, I've seen it. Here's another view of it. I just was really impressed by it, and I thought it was beautiful. This is another picture. I hate that it's out of order, but this is Shaраlei's Exorcised again that I was showing you earlier. This is another floor of it. And this is actually, she turned this into a television. So this actually changed pictures. I think this was EHT, I could swear. But it says it's no, she may have done that later because it's no effects in here. And she did what I'm talking about with using the big Breton carpet and then layering other carpets over it. Really looks good. I don't know why, but using the blue and the yellow makes it pop too, because blue and yellow are such good colors together. And so this is just the sitting game room or whatever. Another step of Sharalei's Exorcised, telling you this house was unbelievable. This is the bedroom. You know, it kept going. Every time I thought it reached the top, she had more floors. This was the bathroom. And I think what J Hart pointed out, and it's hard to disagree, is putting the coral up as a privacy thing is really neat. And then using this sponge as something to put your towels on really brings the beautiful, like, ocean-like view that you have into the bathroom. And here's the tub, another tub, I guess, the sauna. Just really well done. Just gorgeous. This is the interior of Black Vine again. This is Faevara. And they did, can anyone tell me if it's up? Let me see if it's up. Not up. They did, these I think are Alien libraries. And they're sunken into the walls. And just makes Black Vine look a lot better. Black Vine is not terribly expensive, but it's sort of limited in what you can do. So I think it's a good idea to try to come up with ideas for it to make it different. And same person, putting the bucket up here with the plant in it. And I think that's just an ivy, one of the ivy ones from Alinor. It just really works. I mean, it's just a simple thing, but it's just a really pretty thing. This is Chryseia again, the same house that I was showing you before. What happened is I broke out some to show the freestanding nature, and then these are all interior furnishings. So again, with the floor sunken in, this is the Redguard gaming tables. I'm not even sure which ones those are, but just sinking them into the ground makes it a beautiful, beautiful inlaid floor. I love it. And, you know, in order to make the glass thing and for the fireplace, that's a Redguard window that you could use from the from EHT as well. And her stairway was, I think, cabinets. So she did a good job here. Another view of it. So yeah, all of that those are all Redguard down here. And then she made these chairs actually have mirrors as back rests, which is a sin, I think, because those things are so expensive to just use as a covered up back of a chair. But I mean, I guess it goes. It looks right. And she wallpapered it with a carpet. And this I was showing off. This is her record player. And that's using the fake key blank, I think, a plate, and then some EHT. And what was funny about this is that when she hit play, things would happen. She had triggers going. I forget what they were, but I think it was just something silly. But it really looks like a record player. This is a close-up of one of her desks. She tends to do this on most of her desks now. This is insane to me because these effects are so small. This is a frame that two pieces of a frame that she actually has in EHT, and then she just shrunk them down to this tremendously small size, and it looks like, I don't know, like little bits of makeup, maybe perfume bottles or something. And this is all framework that is in EHT that you can dye and size to whatever you want. These are individual. She does each effect of this necklace individually. So those are all individual pearls that she has. Dyed them white, made them that size, and she does such fine detail work. It's absolutely insane. It's beautiful though. It just looks like somebody just put down their necklace. This is another Skulllord 1415, which means it no longer exists. This is an incredible chandelier. Hi, Funky Wife. Thanks for the follow. This chandelier is insane. Those are dream shards, and they used alchemy pieces. You see those? You can see it if you look closely. That's an alchemy piece. And by putting them upside down, they made a chandelier. And I bet you this chandelier would sell for a gazillion tons of money if you started building these. They're probably very expensive to make, given what it is. But isn't it beautiful? I don't know. Skulllord has such amazing ideas, and then he destroys them. Here's a close-up. You can see better what the chandelier looks like, and I was in love with the chandelier. And what was funny is somebody mentioned it a while back and was like, does anyone remember this chandelier? And I'm like, I have a picture of it, because that's how I roll. This whole house is gone. This was the bedroom that he had here. But in here, he's got a real painting in the background. He doesn't use EHT. So this is a real painting in the background, and then he put a pet in front of it. So it's supposed to look like a television. And that's something anyone could do if you want that idea. I like it. Another one of his creations that I've sort of taken part of. These are those vases, sunflower or sandflower or whatever they're called. And sunking them into the desk makes them look like little bottles of makeup. I've taken this idea and I appreciate it. Another thing that I've seen him do multiple times that you could steal is when you put single candles facing out, they look like those bubble lights that people put around their vanities. It just looks like it belongs. Doesn't look very traditional or real. It looks more modern. But if you don't care about that, then that looks great. Because in reality, I mean, who would have that? You know, candles would drip all over. Putting mirrors at different heights really works too. It just looks like a beautiful vanity, and it's very well done. Sharalei again. This is that same build, I think. But here's just a way to make beach chairs, should you want them. It's just, you know, the orc chair, and then she's got the pillows here on an angle. So it looks really good. Sharalei again, she layers carpeting. It's just a thing she does, and I really am a fan. This is also Sharalei. I must have been going on a Sharalei hunt of all of her stuff. But here's a good way of making a toilet or a bathroom. I think the toilet's behind here, actually. And that's always toilet paper. Anywhere I see those cups, they're usually toilet paper. Nothing else. And then here you have the Alinor, I think this was one of the outdoor limestone jugs. And then she has the layered over it. And behind the wall, she's got the Alinor fountain, single fountain. So the water's coming down. And I love doing this myself, is taking one of these dwarven cogs and just sticking them over where the water comes out so it looks like it's got even a faucet. So this is a really good bathroom. And I said to you guys, I'm a big fan of bathrooms, and this is why. I mean, they take talent and they're clever, and I love it. This is Bee's Knees. Bee's Knees is a really good builder as well. I liked what she did here because she broke up the house. This house is so annoying. I think this is the interior of Strident Springs. And the reason why it's annoying is because they put these, you see these columns? They're natural to the house. So they've got these natural to the house columns right in the middle. There's 4 of them. And they just break up the whole house. It stops you from doing almost anything with that space. So what BSDs did is took the alinor libraries and stuck them in there. And so they made this little library type section and covered at least one of the columns with this plant. And lots of ivy brings interesting texture. So I hate this house and probably will never decorate it because of those columns. But I think this is a really good use of that space if you're going to have to deal with it. You know, make something out of it. Eyes of Siamese again. Just using an unused fireplace and sticking plants in it, I thought was something that people would do in real life. And so I thought it was really kind of cool. And I took a picture of it. Eyes of Siamese again. This is interior, I believe, of black vine. So they built a very nice stairway up to a second floor that they built separately. So this is probably one of the things that I would talk about in my real stream is this. This is just beautiful. Really talented people on this server. Eyes of Siamese, this is their second floor that I was going up to. And it mostly is meant to look like storage. So you see the rugs are kind of haphazard and the boxes over here. And it's just a nice little extra, you know, an extra floor. Sue off 1, 2, 3. This is obvious. This is twin arches, and that's obvious to me because twin arches is an L on the inside. It's a very strange L. And what do you do with the bottom of the L, right? Well, what this person did is she broke off this section by using curtains, those alinor curtains that are too long to use in most places, but here you could just bury them into the ground and made it a bedroom. You know, I did something similar, but I used Redguard hanging tapestries to sort of break this part off, and now that house isn't even decorated storage right now. But this is a beautiful and affordable house. If you want to get a really nice view, this is a nice house. This is Faevara in Moonmirth. It's very rare to see anybody actually make fruit trees. And they did. They made a banana tree with putting bananas, and apple tree, and a grapevine. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a vine. And, you know, just basically putting a fruit area, and on the inside too, using the Redguard chair. Sorry if I'm boring today. This is another one of Skulllord's no longer existing creations, and it's stunning, and I love it, and I might steal it one day. This beautiful, beautiful chandelier here. This is the top of probably one of the Redguard wells, flipped upside down, and then you have Redguard lamps, those shiny Redguard filigree lamps, probably 2 of them here. Then you have Redguard candlesticks at an angle, but what he's done again is using those alchemy pieces, the dangling alchemy pieces upside down. He's made a beautiful, stunning, I love this. I just can't say enough about how nice this is of a chandelier. This is Chryseia. This is her Sleek Creek. She built a fireplace by sinking a bed down. You see that? That's actually a bed. A lot of beds have really nice decoration that you could use if you sink them into a wall or sink them into the floor to make a fireplace. To make a distinctive and unique fireplace that you're not going to see usually anywhere else. And just putting the Khajiit thing inside works too. But this was beautiful, and everybody on the stream was like, stop, look at that. Look how incredible it looks. And J Hart was like zooming by and didn't even see it. But then he came back. He listened to us. This is also Faevara. This is just a clever idea, I thought, with using the paintings like this. Look at what she did. She took two paintings. One of them is facing forward so that you can see the frame looks like it's coming forward. And then she sunk one backwards so that the back, so this is blank. This is actually the back of the second painting. By sinking it in, she was able to make the frame look like it's coming forward, but it's blank, and now she can paint. That's stupid brilliant. That is so brilliant that I don't know that I ever would have thought of it. Just a great, great idea, and so subtle that I don't know. It's just amazing. Brisket again. I think I just liked this house. I just liked how he decorated it, he or she. I like the Breton, even though it's not a Breton house. This is Silent Magnifico. Who cares it's not Breton? Just go with it. Same house. Look at this bathroom. I'm a sucker for bathrooms, I said. These are waterfalls, so the whole back wall shower kind of thing comes into there, into the tub. You have a piece of coral over here, and then using the conch from the Merkmeyer lamps, it looks like almost like a screen, and it's almost like beads almost. It's really cool. Let me see. I'm starting to lose steam, guys. I don't know about you. This is also brisket. This is the best I've seen anyone using these incense things. But the incense things, this is actually on the load screen. Like something like this is on the load screen when you come into the area, the house itself. It does have a bunch of them linked together, but I've never seen anyone actually put it in there. And then using the tiny little mats behind it on an angle is really beautiful too. I think it's just a good idea, and you could take it. And then I think I'm going to wrap it up because I have got a terrible headache, and I've been going for a while now. But here's Carrie Gondolin, and why I took this picture is because this is the Golden Griffin, which is very small, but she raised this up so that it's like almost like a separate part of the house. So you've got the limestone, and then she flipped over the Vardenfell thing, I think, and then put the bed on it, and it's just a nice little raised area for a bedroom. Delphinia, who I love. I'll end with Delphinia. This is in her lintel. It's just a little wedding area. And I thought what she did with the flowers made it look very realistic, like a wedding. So if this is something you want to do, you should. And I'm so sorry for being boring today. I would stay on for more and keep going, but I have a terrible, terrible headache. So I wish you all the best, and thanks for the follow, Mustang. And I hope that you find something else to do to keep you busy for a little while. Go check out the PTS. That seems to be up. So talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching.